Okay. Give me 1 second, everybody. Just getting the live set up on Instagram. Thank you. Thanks for joining, everybody. Love that I get a wildly inappropriate comment right off the bat. Thank you. Get off my Dickerson 53. Lovely, lovely start. Hey, Sam. Thanks for jumping on. Great. Yeah. I want to, hey, Jason. Hey, Cawthor TR315. The Corporate Translator, if you haven't seen my sketch series, it's now being turned into a book. And I wanted to use tonight to talk about like corporate America. I'd love to hear people's like horror stories, any sort of questions you have about the translator, myself. If you have any dilemmas currently at work that you want to talk about, I'd love to just give some advice, or we can talk smack. The Corporate Translator, I guess Jason hasn't seen it. For anybody that hasn't seen it, it's a sketch series that I did where basically I thought it'd be hilarious if there's somebody that lives in the office that just translates all the nonsense words that we hear. I got kind of tired of having my soul crushed by corporate America. So I started kind of poking fun at all like the ridiculous jargon that people have. So I think it'd be really funny to have a character that sits in an office and just translates like what people are actually saying into plain English. So that's the Corporate Translator. Chandra, how's the book sectioned out? So the book is broken down into 3 sections. The first one being the definitions. So like basically it'll be like when you hear someone say bandwidth, this is what it means. When you hear somebody say circling back, this is what it means. When you hear your manager tell you, you know, meets expectations, this is what it means. Then it's broken down into like scenarios. So, you know, when you're in a one-on-one with your manager and they're telling you this, here's what they say, here's what the words are, and here's what they're actually saying to you. So it's kind of giving you like a beneath the surface. And then I kind of broke off from comedy and did like a little bit more like corporate, like practical advice, and tried to navigate and like give people like, you know, I don't know, corporate therapy, if you will. And just tell people like, I don't know, it's just my theory on how we can stop talking like this. Like, I really believe that people just want to be treated like people, and I think that starts with like how you communicate. So I think the fact that like we talk like we're in Star Trek makes everybody feel really weird inside. So I would love for people to stop doing that. I would love to hear if anybody has any sort of like corporate drama. Does anybody have any like dilemmas at work? I'd love to share stories. I think one of the more ridiculous things I ran into, I don't know if anyone's had this happen to them, but I actually walked in on 2 of my coworkers having an affair one time, and that was not fun. I would love to hear if people have any sort of drama going on that like I like hearing horror stories. I'll tell the story of the affair first. Basically, I had to go back after hours to get my laptop, and I walked back upstairs, and 2 of my coworkers like came out of a dark room together, even though like nobody was in the office. And as soon as I saw them, like they came out just trying to act normal, and I was just like, I don't want any part of this. Like, please just leave me out of this. I just need my laptop. And then they like came out and tried to like, they were like, no, everybody was just here. You just missed them. I was just like, listen, man, just don't talk to me. I know what's going on. You know what's going on. I know what's happening. Just don't talk to me. Just let me get my laptop in peace. And then I told that bit at a comedy show a couple of weeks later, and I didn't realize that one of my coworkers was in the audience, and then they spread it around. So that was not great. What would you say the stupidest thing a boss has ever said to you is? Yeah, that's a good one. It's kind of a long list. One time I got put on a PIP. This is like right before I was getting fired from a job. Is like I got put on a PIP and then they basically fired me. And the way that they told me was that they said, "We don't really have an appetite to keep you." I just thought calling it an appetite, I just thought was like insane. They made me sound like a just like I was like leftover, like, meatloaf that nobody wanted. They were just like, "We don't really have an appetite to keep you on the staff here." I thought that was just an extra insulting way of telling me that I'm being fired. Uh, Mary said, "I liked when after I quit and gave 2 weeks notice, a boss brought me in a week later and said, 'You still have a place here. We can give you more responsibility.' I said, 'I already took the job.'" Yeah, they love to do that. They love to just like take advantage of you for as long as they possibly can, and then as soon as you just have enough and leave, that's when they're just like, "Oh, actually," like one of the most common things, and I talk about this in the book, is like what they'll do is like they'll drag it out, giving you a raise, giving you a promotion. And then once you have an offer, that's when all of a sudden, like they tell you, but there's no budget. Then all of a sudden, budget just magically shows up as soon as you have another offer. So that's why I tell people, if you really want to play hardball with people, you need to just get an offer. But at the same time, you need to be prepared to just take the offer and walk. And that's why you'd think like employers would want to be like, no, let me just like give you a raise before you go and start to do that. But unfortunately, that's what they do. Where did I work in corporate America? I mean, I worked for Xerox. That was my first job out of college. The company that I got fired from, I should have been fired from Xerox, honestly. I was terrible. I was the worst copier salesperson in the entire company, maybe of all time. I think if you were to really rank like all-time copier salesperson, I guarantee you I'm in the bottom like 3 percentile. Like I was so bad at that job and I should have been fired, but my manager liked me, so he didn't. But I tell people that story about selling copiers. I was so bad at it because like you're selling in person and they could tell how much I was like depressed. I hated my life. I hated that I was doing that. So I would just walk into businesses and be like, you don't make a good salesperson if they can tell that you hate the thing that you're selling. So like I would walk into businesses and be like, "Hey, do you guys want a copier?" And they'd be like, "No." And I'd be like, "Yeah, you're not wrong for feeling that way." And you don't really make a good salesperson. So that was that was probably the most corporate situation I was ever in, was like that was like very buttoned up, like really old school sales. I worked at Lifetime Fitness. That's where I got fired because apparently can't even sell gym memberships. I don't know. It's really not a great situation. But then ever since then, I've worked in tech, and I've actually like working in tech is whatever. It's kind of like diet corporate, where it's like people trying to act like they're not corporate while being corporate. So I've worked for like a couple of tech companies, and I've enjoyed that work a lot more. My favorite job, my favorite job, I hate that I'm having a hard time answering that. Let's go with least favorite job. Honestly, my least favorite job, it wasn't even the copiers. That's the sad part. I was my first job out of college I did for like 6 months, and I was selling temporary physicians. I was like a physician trafficker. I was like, I don't know, I was like a recruiter or something for like temporary physicians. It was like the worst company I've ever seen in my life. And people would just work like 12 hours a day and then they would just hire a bunch of people and fire a bunch of people. I was there for 6 months and I saw like 20 people come and go. And normally, like most work experiences are useful, even if they weren't great or the right fit for you. Like you kind of take something out of them. That I got literally nothing out of. That was a total waste of my time in life. And I regret every minute that I spent doing that. So yeah, that was my least favorite one. My favorite job, probably working as a camp counselor when I was in high school. What do I think of the 1 to 5 star systems during the end of the year review? Does anyone ever actually get a 5? No, because yeah, I wouldn't even pay it any attention. Like who cares? Literally who cares? I don't even know why I think they do those maybe for some HR stuff that they can document. I don't know, but like those are a total waste of time. You should never be concern yourself with those at all. They're not going to give you a 5. If they give you a 5, then they know you have literal proof of like, hey, give me a raise now. They're not going to give you that. And if they give you a 1, then like they're probably not gonna do that either. If they give you a 1, you should probably just like be like, all right, I'll be on my way. But no, I wouldn't even pay those any attention. You should just be trying to do the best work you can do at all times and never, and like whatever. I don't know. Especially, um, yeah. Oh, by the way, if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, if you comment the word shop, you can receive a link in your DMs to purchase. So like if you just leave a comment and you want a copy of the book, leave a comment and then it'll reach out and send it to you and you can purchase. So if anybody's interested in the book, which obviously I hope you are by being here, yeah, just shoot a little comment and then we'll send you a copy. Have I ever had a disagreement with my manager? Yeah, I mean like all the time. I'm just not sure I've ever. Yeah, I mean I have. I'll come back to that. I quit tech and do comedy full time. I mean, yes and no. It's a whole existential question. Oh, hey, Brendan. Good to see you. I don't think I've seen you since high school. Thanks for jumping on. Um, would I quit tech and do comedy full time? Yes, but it would have to be. I need to have a sustainable income. Like I'm the type like I need to have some level of like financial security. Um, I've thought about like doing just touring stand-up comedy, but honestly, it's a very brutal life. You're spending a lot of your life on the road alone. A lot of times you're losing money for like 10 years. The content, it's, like it's gone pretty well for me. I get brand deals, I get to balance having a day job and doing the content. So if I ever get to a financial point where I feel like, or I have some sort of opportunity that opens up where I feel like, I can comfortably kind of make the switch, then I'll do it. But, um, I don't know. I don't really mind this. It's like pretty good. It kind of gives me the best of both. I have security, I have stability, and then I can also just do the content on the side. I also just think to myself, like if I was doing content only for money, it probably would shift how I view it, and it might start impacting like how I um how I write, how I, like it's more coming from a place of desperation because I'm like, God, it like my bills depend on this. And everybody romanticizes like being a full-time comedian, but you always have a boss. You always have somebody that you need to report to. If you have fans, then they're your boss. You need to please them. You need them to like you. So I like, I don't know. It's a loaded question. Yes, Parker. Thanks. Thanks for joining. Hey, Amanda. Wait, are you Lexi or are you Amanda? You need to you need to clarify that. Thank you for forwarding my content, Zoe. I desperately need it. The engagement is desperately needed. So thank you. It's the only thing that gives me validation in life, and that's deeply unhealthy, but it is what it is. What can I do? Have I ever actually seen a PIP work on somebody? Yes, actually, I have seen that. I think companies will PIP you. Here's some corporate advice. I think companies, sometimes a PIP, you need to understand what your PIP is. Like if your PIP is not attainable, it's literally like, hey, here we're handing you an olive branch, like go start interviewing and we'll pay you for a couple weeks. But sometimes it's actually like they want you, they just need you to do better. And I've seen that happen where it's just like they make a PIP that's just like, yo, you gotta like get to your quota. And it's just what everybody else is doing, but you're not doing it, so you need to do it. And it kind of gives them an opportunity to like kind of step up or step out. So um the favorite chapter of my book. The favorite chapter of my book is honestly probably the definitions, because that's where I feel like I was funny. There's parts of the book that are not that funny. They're kind of dark. They're not that dark. Actually, the publisher made them less dark. The publisher had to come in and make it a little less dark. But no, I get a little like corporate advice, and I don't know, like I like using comedy as the conduit to like give actual helpful information, but I don't know, I kind of steered away from like just doing pure comedy towards the end. And I like doing the comedy a little bit more. Thank you for joining, Zoe. Are you guys just watching, Chris? Thanks, Chris. Are you guys all just watching together? That would be really cute. The job at Obligatory Tech Company LLC is actually going really well. I just was promoted to VP of Strategic Alignment Engagement. So the career is on the up and up. I hope that the next move for me is probably going to be SVP of Strategic Enablement Strategy Growth. So I think I'm doing actually pretty well at that company. Somebody give me a dilemma. I like hearing about other people's dilemmas. Do you also hire you for the trust retreats? Do people hire me for the trust retreats? I wish. I could probably squeeze like 10 grand out of a trust retreat, but no, sadly, no. I do think the translator should actually be a real thing though. And I have a feeling it's just going to be Claude soon. People are just going to use Claude to sit in on their meetings, and they're just going to have Claude do it. But I was there first. Just remember that. Before, when the AIs take over, I was doing this first. Okay. Again, I said this earlier, and by the way, if you do want a copy of the book, just make sure you drop a comment or comment the word shop, and then we'll send you a copy. So if anybody's interested in the book, which I hope you are, just comment the word shop. The book is organized into 3 sections. There's definitions. There's like 100, I think, plus 110 plus definitions of like, this is what this, this is the word, like synergy. It's all the corporate everything, acronyms, EOD, KPI, GTM, all that stuff built in. And then it'll define all them in my corporate translator terms. And then it's like scenarios. So, this if when you're in a meeting with your boss and they tell you this is what they're actually saying to you. And then it's like more practical, actual work advice. So yeah. When do you know it's time to move on from a company? Yeah, that's a good question. All right, this is going to be a little more serious. This is not going to be as funny. This is like a serious thing. The thing I was always taught is that when you're at a job, are you learning, are you earning, and are you growing? If you have all 3 of those things, then you should stay at the job. If you have one of them, you should probably leave. If you have 2 of them, you should probably leave, but like you don't have to. And if you have 0 of them, it's time to go. So a couple things. One, if you're in a spot where like you see the writing on the wall that there's either going to be layoffs or you're going to be fired, that's when it's time to go. But if you're also in a spot in your career where you're just in a total dead end, it's like I'm not, like I've reached my earning capacity, I'm not getting a new title, I'm not learning anything, that's really when it's like time to go. Like for me, if I'm not, like, my brain needs to be like taking on new skills and like learning and moving myself forward. If I'm not doing that, I literally can't do it anymore. Like I'll get worse at a job, anything that I'm doing. Like that's why on my content, like I don't really stick to one thing. I'm always doing different like jokes and different kind of angles, because I just can't, eventually jokes get old to me and I need to think of something new. It's the same thing at work. It's like if you're not taking on something new, you're going to get bored and you're eventually going to get worse at it. So you need to like keep kind of moving yourself forward. Or if you get pipped, that's the other one. No dilemma, life is sweet. Hey, AP. Can I be on your podcast? Yes, just send me an email. Although I don't know. What kind of podcast is it? I shouldn't just say yes blindly, but I will because I have the time. But I shouldn't say yes, but I'll do it. Just tell me what it's about. I don't like to, I don't know. There's some weird people that follow me. I get some weird requests in my DMs. Okay. I can't just blindly accept every podcast that I do, but just tell me what it's about and I'll do it. I did a Jets one today. It was terrible. I did awful on this Jets one, and I feel really bad. Modern day tech sales pays you just enough to keep you busting your ass, but with today's affordability, it's impossible to get ahead. Yeah, sales is tough just because it's like it's just volatile. It's like you could just be out of a job at any minute. And but in a good situation, it's pretty good. Mm. But sales is your best shot. I mean, unless you're like a whatever, a software developer. I mean, it's probably your best shot at making enough to live off of. All right, Jay Williams, I'll look out for it. You have CPA in your name, so I trust that you're not a weirdo. What if I'm tired of my job but don't want to look forward to a new one? What if I'm tired of my job but don't want to look forward to an but don't want to look for a new one and have no other options right now? Quit or stay? I mean, I feel you because I know a lot of people feel that way. They're like, I don't want to look for a new one, but it's like, do you want to leave or not? Like, how bad is it? I think generally you know when it's like time to go, but you always have to build in a buffer of time. Like whenever is like actually time to go and when you feel like it's time to go, there's normally like a 3-month period. So you should that's why I start to look when it's like I feel like it might be time to go because I know that by the time it is actually time to go, that I'll be ready. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense. I think it makes sense. But to me, you should always be looking. You should always be looking for other things, and then generally the timing will align, which is weird. I'm trying to be overly spiritual, but it's kind of it is kind of weird how things work out. So I would just always keep yourself open. I would just not get complacent because the company is never going to get complacent. The company is never going to get comfortable and be like, "Yeah, you could just hang around." Like the company is probably not going to be okay with that. Thank you, Melissa. I'm glad I made you laugh in the middle of a meeting. Which sketch was it? It would make me feel good if you told me about it. What is my day job now? I work in sales for a company called Zero. I just started. It's going well. I like it. How often am I on the road? Not a ton. Um, I'll do like, one road show a month or something like that. Have I seen sexism or discrimination in the workplace? That's a good one. I mean, I've seen consensual things that are not that are not good. Non-consensual, I'm sure it's gone on, but I haven't seen it because I wouldn't really be cool with that. I wouldn't just like stand by and be like, oh well, that's bad. I would like do something about it, and I would remember. But I've seen a good amount of consensual things that probably shouldn't have been going on. It's between people that are in relationships. People really love doing that. I don't know. Not great. Do you have to do those annual harassment trainings at my company? They are so dumb. Yes. I wish they would really like try to revamp those because it's really it's hard to take those things seriously. It really is. When they put you in they give you these insane hypotheticals that you never actually see. It's like a satire comedy. And they're trying to get you to take it seriously because it's important, but then you see these situations and you're like, this would never happen. Like, and I don't know. Maybe I should have had a whole section in the book on sexual harassment training. No, that would probably not be great. By the way, comment shop for anybody that's watching on Instagram or Facebook. Comment shop if anybody wants a copy of the book, um, and we'll send it over to you. I'm 6 foot. Love that you asked me about harassment trainings and then you asked how tall I am. That's ironic. That was harassment in my comment section. It's just a joke. I don't care. I'm genuinely not sure if you would be better at consulting / arbitration, corporate translator, or thought leadership. How do I hire you? Peter, my DMs are open. If you want to hire me for anything, I'm always open, just so long as it's not weird. Okay? You can reach out to me. I do want to do thought leadership. I mean, I think once hopefully the book comes out, that'll open up more opportunities to do thought leadership. I like being funny, but I also like using humor to like say something meaningful, which is kind of counterintuitive a lot of the time. And maybe that's why I'm not that famous, but it's the truth. I like something in my brain goes like, this is funny, but I have to have some other layer of meaning to it. And that's probably not great. What do I think of the couple at the Coldplay concert? The lady was in HR. They were out on a date cheating. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if more affairs happen nowadays or if it's just that they're easier to get exposed. Probably that one, that it's just like harder to get away with. That one was yeah. I don't know. Part of me kind of no. I was gonna say I kind of feel bad for them, but like no. I can't feel bad for them. They were doing a bad thing. But it's like they were just at a concert. I don't think they had any idea that they were gonna be on camera. But all that said, a lot of that stuff goes down. A lot of that stuff, going back to what I was talking about earlier, for those of you that have joined the live recently, every workplace I've ever been in has some level of that. And I don't know why people can't stop doing it. Just don't, yeah, I don't know. Don't go to a Coldplay concert. Hey, Sheriff. Yeah, no, I don't have a Substack or a Medium. If you guys want to follow me, just keep following me on Instagram. But I will, after the book comes out, start putting out more kind of thought leadership stuff. I've had a lot of people ask me in the comments about just like doing comedy and having a day job. I mean, I just think they fill different parts of me. Like I think if I didn't have the financial security, I probably would be either deeply depressed or anxious and stressed out all the time. So I do the day job because it fills that aspect of me. And I don't mind working in tech. People are cool. But then the comedy, I need that. If I was just doing that, I would feel probably a level of imposter syndrome every single day that I wouldn't be able to live with. Like the reason I started doing comedy was because I was working a copier job and I hated my life so much that I knew I needed to do something else with it. So I have to thank corporate America for getting me into comedy because they broke my soul so bad that it made me figure something else out. And I think that that's good. I think everybody needs to reach that point. They should have their soul broken enough that you pursue your dreams. Okay. But yeah, I mean, the life of a comedian, like, I don't know, you just have to get people to follow you online nowadays. That's all that it is. It's not about anything else other than that. It used to be like, I first started doing stand-up in 2016. Back then it was like, yeah, you got to do open mics and you got to like work your way up the clubs and blah, blah, blah. But now it's literally just like, you have to get famous online and then you can do whatever you want. You could be on Netflix in a year if you just get people to follow you online. Do I want to stay working in corporate? I don't know. It depends. Depends. Depends on where content takes me. The book is very cool. So thank you all for supporting it. If more cool opportunities like that open up, it'll give me a little bit more of a cushion to be able to pursue my creative passions more meaningfully. But we'll see. I don't mind working. I like working. If I didn't work and I was just alone with my thoughts all day, I'd probably go crazy. That might also not be true. My life might actually be a lot better. But got to stay in motion. Will I be on tour soon? Yeah, I think I'm gonna do. If anybody lives in New York City, I hope you'll. I'm gonna do like I'm just gonna film like a half-hour special. So, if you want to like I'll be posting that. I'm gonna clip it up and put it out so that I can line up more stand-up dates. If you want to join my email list, I would appreciate it, and I'll let you know when I do it. But yeah, I'm gonna film it in New York City. So please do head on over to my email list. My cat, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's joining from my cat followers, but the cat is not with me right now. So, but please don't leave. Stay in the live. And I'll post something with my cat tomorrow or something, but the cat is not with me right now. Peter put into the comments what I think is probably the most meaningful thing that you should walk away from this live from, and that is that you need to have your soul broken enough by corporate to follow your dreams. I think it's really helpful. So that's why I encourage everybody to have a corporate career, because it'll break you, and then you can figure out what you actually want to do with your life, and that's valuable. It's the same thing like with my bullies when I was younger. I'm not pro bullying. Bullying's wrong, but I'm glad I got bullied because it put certain things into me, certain insecurities into me that made me a better person in the long run, probably. I don't think you should bully people. Please don't take that away from this live. That's not what I was saying. Thanks, J.M. Williams. How did the book come to fruition? Oh, and by the way, again, for anybody that would like a copy of the book, just comment shop and we'll send you over a copy, especially if you're joining from Facebook or Instagram. Again, just comment shop, all caps, and we'll send you a copy. Or we'll send you a link to order. So yeah, when I wrote the Corporate Translator sketch, for one thing, the way that like the Corporate Translator came to be was that like I started kind of talking about it online, where I would make jokes about like the ridiculousness of how people talk in the workplace. Then those sketches did okay, and I realized that like I would see in the comment section people just being like, "This is like my workplace," like, and then I just realized that like, oh, everybody's talking like this. Like I did a couple of sketches where I was like, point of view, you're in a corporate meeting, and I was just like, yeah, we should align on our synergies to strategically, seamlessly access our deliverable. And then those went pretty viral, and I just realized that like this is everybody's doing this is how everybody's talking. And then I made another post where I was like, what's everybody's favorite corporate nonsense word, or least favorite corporate nonsense word? And then that went kind of viral, and people like were interacting with it. And then that just spawned the idea in my head. I was like, everybody's talking like this. It would be very funny if somebody just sat in the office and just made just translated and made fun of all this ridiculous stuff. So that's where I thought of the sketches. The sketches obviously resonated very well. I'm going to start to do more of them. The reason that I stopped doing it was because I got the book deal, and then I didn't want to I wanted to wait until around the book was coming out to start doing it, because I also just got kind of tired of it. Like the joke got a little bit old to me, but I'll bring it back. But then yeah, Andrews McNeil, the publisher, reached out to me, and they were like, this would be a really good idea for a book. And I had already had that idea in my mind. I was like, this would be like a really good like corporate definition book if you like ever wanted to do that. And then the fact that they reached out to me, I was like, this is great. So love Andrews McNeil for making that come true. And also the sketches will be coming out soon. Do I talk/joke about existential crisis stuff? Yes. Probably too much. But I try to be very authentic with my content. That's just where I am in my life. It is just like I'm in the throes of existential crisis, and maybe I don't know, crisis is an intense word, but like I just talk about what's going on with me. So whatever I'm going through is what I'm going to write on, and that's what I talk about a lot. So yes, and sometimes I feel bad about that, because I feel like I kind of feed everybody into a frenzy about well, I'm already having a crisis, and now you're making me have another crisis. But it's what's happening. I can't get away from it. I'm sorry. It broke, man. You retired? Yeah, I think a lot of people are hitting the point with corporate where they're just realizing like they'd rather be poor than sacrifice their entire livelihood. So, I'm seeing this with a lot of people where like people just kind of don't really care anymore. They're just kind of like, whatever. I only have so much time on this earth. I can't spend it like this. And that's kind of an indictment on the whatever, the way that corporations have evolved, but also like the cost of living obviously is another big part of that. So does any time, I don't know what question that is. Somebody give me another work dilemma. Give me some drama that you have that you're dealing with. I'd love to hear what people got going on. Nothing. Work in an office or remotely. My husband is a founder and is almost living in office 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Um, I don't know what's my stance on cannabis and shrooms. I can't do any of that stuff. I don't like it, messes with my head. I don't like it. Hi Patricia, thanks for jumping in. One thing that I talk a lot of crap on having a day job, but I don't like everybody demonizes 9 to 5. I actually don't really like that. Like people like yeah, ideally in a world we don't have to work 9 to 5, 5 days a week, but like I think also in a healthy functioning society you should be able to work a 9 to 5 and just support yourself and your family and it shouldn't be a problem and you should just have a nice little life. Like that's why there's so many people so many videos I see about people just being like, "Oh, everyone's got to be an entrepreneur." It's like, no. Like A, not everybody wants that. B, also there's downsides that come along with that. Normally, like people are gonna have to work for other people. Like it should be fine that way. But it's just that workers have no protections. So like they just get taken advantage of. And the cost of living has gone up so much that like it doesn't mean you can work a 9 to 5, but you still can't afford your bills. And that's absurd. And that's really where the breakdown is. And that's why like the 9 to 5s have gotten so bad. And that sucks. Yeah. Any questions about me, myself, my life? We can get personal. I'm an open book. No pun intended, because I'm plugging a book. Do you get it? Sorry, I'm not that funny. Give direction or someone's identity is so attached to a job. One thing that I don't like about corporate is the inability to be direct about what you need, or when somebody's identity is so attached to a job or leadership role that they will drop them in a heartbeat. It's so attached to a job or leadership role that yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I'm trying to like the corporate communication, like that's what I'm trying to like get at with the corporate translator is it's like, can we just talk to each other like people? Like I like you can be direct and polite. Like all those things can happen. I don't know why we have to like dance around all it. Just tell me what you just say it. And you're not gonna hurt my feelings. It's okay. Just don't say it like a jerk. One of my pillars of like phrases that I live by is like it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So you can be direct and still be nice about it. So that like it drives me insane when people just like can't say what they're trying to say. Just say it. Like I don't like to like decode. What else do people want to know from me? I'm down to talk about anything. Stand-up comedy, work, day job, corporate, anything. Damn, Sharif. Sharif, and I hope I'm saying that right. Or Sheriff said, major existential crisis here. I grew up religious. Now I don't know why we're here. What do you think life is? Simulation experiment? Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I'm not really intelligent enough to explain to you why I think it's a simulation, other than to say, like, there are weird things that happen. I don't necessarily think it is a simulation, but I do believe in some spiritual element to what we're doing here on this earth. And exactly what we are doing, I don't know. Um, I don't really like, I was raised pretty religious. I'm not really like super religious anymore in the traditional sense, but I do believe in like, I don't know, there's a spiritual element to whatever this thing is that we're doing here. I do believe that. And I try not to tell people how to define that. The thing with religion, literally the only thing, once your religion is like telling you, is like making you do like mean or bad things, that's when I'm like, why? That's where religion loses me. Is when it's like, yeah, love everybody except for these types of people. That's what bothers me with religion. But I think religion's a good thing overall. I think it helps people cope with death. I think it generally should make people better people and give some people something to help them get through the difficulties of life. And I think that's all good. But then when it gets to the point of like, oh, but like I don't like you because of the religion, it's like, why? So that's where religion starts to lose me. No, Luke, no. Should you skip the office happy hour? No, go to it. Make a fool of yourself. Anyway, Sharif, I hope I answered that. I don't like to tell people what to believe or think. I think you got to kind of, like create the life that you want, the beliefs that you want that align to who you are as a person. But I also think if this is a simulation, I'll say there are certain things where I'm just like, do I have like a teenager running mine? Like what they just do things that I'm just like, why would you do that? Do you just enjoy messing with me? Like, I don't get it. And I would like to at least meet that. If the creator winds up being just some like teenager, like 3,000 years in the future, that's just controlling my life, that would be deeply disappointing. Deeply disappointing. Patricia, do I steal office supplies? It depends. The snacks, yes, I will steal snacks. What's my vision for the next 12 months? Oh, Jesus, man, I don't know. I try not. I used to have visions and stuff and like dreams, and now I just kind of live day by day. I can't. I don't want to think about 12 months from now, man. I try to live in like 12 like hour increments. What's gonna be going on in 12 hours from now? All right, my actual goals. If you want to support them, a successful book launch in a month. I am here to plug the book, so I do unfortunately have to do that. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, comment shop, and we'll send you a link to order. Good book. Okay, we'll start with that. Also, have $1 billion. Is that bad to say? I don't know. I guess saying having $1 billion is bad now. I just don't want to. I stress out a lot about money. I don't want to think about money anymore. So whatever that amount of money is, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to make that in the next year. Most of my goals are tied to things that I'm very embarrassed to tell you about, like my follower count, which it's like I'm a 30-something-year-old man. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with the validation of strangers, but I do have goals for myself from a follower standpoint, and I'm short of that. So in a year from now, I think I'm at like I got to be at 400 on TikTok. I have 400,000 teenagers following me on TikTok. And then Instagram, I got to try to get to 250 within a year. And then I have like financial goals. And also just be in shape. It does get harder in your 30s. But I don't like to be like all, "Oh, I'm getting old." You're fine if you just take care of yourself. What is my book about? All right, for anybody jumping on, it's the Corporate Translator. It's a guide to all the corporate jargon and nonsense that happens in the workplace. So it'll give you corporate definitions, all those ridiculous words that you hear on a day-to-day basis. It'll make fun of them and break them down into satirical definitions. And it'll also give you kind of practical work advice. So little bit of both. And if you want a copy, which I hope you do, come and shop. Tell Claude about billionaire plans. Do I want kids? Yeah, geez. Sharif, dude, getting real deep with me here, buddy. I don't know. I've always thought I've wanted kids as life has gone on. It's never, I don't know if it's really played out the way that I expected. Like if you asked me when I was 18, I'd be like, yeah, by the time I'm 28, I want to have a wife and a picket fence, gold fence, I guess, a picket fence and a little couple of cherubs. And now I'm well past that, and I don't feel that close to even wanting that. And I think it should be generally more accepted in society for people. If you don't want kids, don't have kids. For the love of God, don't have kids. Like one of the things, it really bothers me when people like or like tell people they're wrong for not wanting kids. It's like, if you don't want to be a parent, don't be a parent. You should only want to be a parent if you want to be a parent. If you don't want to be a parent, you have a kid, you're going to resent them, and you're going to be a bad parent. They're going to be a bad kid. So that's my thought. Anyway, for myself, I don't know. On the other side of it, though, like, I do see the value in children. I see like, I do think that it's like, you look into a kid's eyes and it like revitalizes you. That sounded weird. It like revitalizes you. You see that, like, oh, like, you've been beat down by life for years, decades, and you see them experience it again, and it like brings life into you because it's like, oh, that's right. This is like supposed to be fun and enjoyable. Maybe that's just me because I'm a cynic. Great, Ahmad. I'm glad it's speaking to you. All right, we got a couple minutes left. Somebody give me something good. Hit me with a deep question. You got Sharif over here. You're asking me about all the existential questions that I think about on a day-to-day basis. I don't know if I'm allowed to flash labels on this. This is free advertising for Poland Spring. Really electric advertising. New York tour guide. Will I put what on YouTube? Please be more specific. But yes, whatever you want. What if you also had a chatbot corporate translator, just in case I need this while I'm hearing the literal corporate lingo? Yeah, Peter, I feel like they're only a couple of years away from having a corporate translator bot. I feel like Claude is probably going to do it, and it's going to put me out of business. So got to support me while you can. No, actually, here's the one thing that AI is, I don't know if it's ever going to catch up, but it probably will, but it's really not funny. It doesn't know how to be funny. And I don't know when that's going to change, if that's ever going to change. But in terms of the actual creativity of the human brain and how to actually be funny, it can't do it. And I don't think you can teach it. I don't think funny is something you can teach. I think funny is something you can have. You either have or you don't. And it doesn't have it. It's lame as hell. Because it's an algorithm. It's like it's scanning like Jerry Seinfeld jokes and like, whatever, pooping them out to you. So if you want a funny translator, this guy. If you just want a translator that's probably better, then you can go to Claude. I just changed your mind on this live about having children. I mean, maybe that's good. I don't know. Maybe it's good. I don't know how old you are, and I don't think I'm supposed to or allowed to ask that, but I know age also becomes a thing for at some point. Um, you know how people use AI to help with them with interviews. We need AI corporate translator for handling real-time corporate language in Zoom. I would just and again, this is a goal of the book. So please, if you want to copy, comment, shop. Sorry to keep doing I gotta keep doing it. Um, like it drives me nuts. It doesn't bother me that people take work serious. I think you should take work serious. It's like your work. You should like be serious about it. But like, let's not take life too serious. Like, I hate how serious people are. The way that they can we just talk? Like, can we just have fun here? Can we just like joke around? You know, it drives me nuts when people are just like talking like robots. It's like this whole thing is like soul crushing that we have to be here. We can at least make the workplace, like the way we actually interact with each other, human. Like we're forced to be here. We're contractually obligated to be here. So we don't have to act like we're in a contract when we talk to each other. We can like have fun. And I know that there's like HR things, but like, yeah, just don't be a jerk. Everyone's, yeah. I look like your neighbor. Have I ever been to Burning Man or rave? No, I'd rather die. Mhm. Mhm. All right, Luke, I'm not going to a rave. Do I make money from Instagram videos? No. The way that monetization works online, TikTok will pay for engagement for longer for form videos, but they kind of dried up that well. They were paying pretty well for a while, but like you don't really make that much money doing that anymore. The money is in brand deals. So when you see me doing brand deals, that's when I'm getting paid. So if you like me, you can give me a like on those posts to support my corny brand deals. Favorite sitcoms growing up in the 90s. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was probably the biggest one. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I wasn't really into Friends. I think those were the only two that ever existed. No, I can't even think of any others. The Fresh Prince was my main sitcom though. Yeah. I never really watched Seinfeld, which is weird because I love Larry David. Um, my favorite comedian is Bo Burnham. Uh, yeah, in terms of just people like artists that I look up to, it's Bo Burnham. I love Bo Burnham. I know that he's not really making stuff right now or maybe ever again, I don't know, but I'm happy for him because it seemed like he was really not doing well. And I'm sure by plugging off of the internet, he is hopefully in a better place. And that sounded very dark, and maybe he is in it. I don't know. But I feel like most of the time people just log off and they're like, I'm done with this. It's because they're happier not doing it. And that's the one thing, like, I don't think people realize that about content creation. Like, it's affected my mental health in a number of ways, in a negative ways. Like, I'm addicted to my phone. It can be deeply frustrating. You have to deal with all the horrible things on the internet and all the horrible people and saying horrible things. It's obviously been good in a number of ways for me. It's got me this book. It's got me, an audience, and that's all great, but it's also ruined my brain in a number of ways. So you see this happen with people like Bo. Jenna Marbles, like another one. She got huge online that she's literally just like, I'm done. And it's because it really impacts your mental health. And I miss his comedy. I miss him, but if he's happy, then I'm fine living my life. Inside was a good and exit stage left because it was one of the greatest pieces of content ever made. Yeah, I mean, I could go off on Bo Burnham. I know I only have a couple minutes left here, but I could go off on Bo Burnham for an hour. I think he's literally like one of the he is an incomprehensible level of brilliant. I think he's literally like Mozart or Beethoven. He should be like in textbooks. I think he's the most talented person that's ever, one of the most talented people that's ever lived. And he's one of the only people that I truly look at and I'm like, I like love you. Like if I ever, he's like, I don't really get like starstruck and stuff, but like if I ever met Bo Burnham, I'd like, I love you, Bo. Thanks, Aaron. My favorite Golden Girl. No. And if anybody hasn't seen it, he's not telling me to plug this, but you should go watch Inside. Unless you're depressed. Actually, if you're depressed, it's not a great thing to watch. It's actually, it can be kind of upsetting. But it is an incredible, incredible piece of art. All right, gonna wrap up in a minute here. Really appreciate you guys joining. Again, comment shop if anybody wants a copy of the book, which obviously I hope you support it. I appreciate you doing that. Just comment shop and we will send you out a link for a copy. Anybody, anything final here? Questions about myself, about corporate, about the Jets? That's kind of my only things I can talk about. Existential crisis. You missed everything? No, I'm not single. Epic acoustic. Sorry that you missed it. You really blew it. It was a great time. It was really electric. Do I work for Amazon? No, I don't work for Amazon. Appreciate you, Peter. Means a lot. Thank you for joining and engaging. Geno Smith as a big old nay. I do think the Jets are probably going to go 0-16. I don't really drink alcohol, so I don't really have a favorite beer. I don't really have a favorite drink. St. Andrew said, "Are you going to talk, bro? You got to give me something to talk about. Ask me something. I'm about to log off. You got like 1 minute." Pepsi. Have I ever done stand-up comedy? Yes, I still do stand-up comedy. I've been doing stand-up comedy for about 8 years. I still do it. I hope you'll come see me sometime. I don't do it that much. I do it a little sparingly. Normally like a couple times a month. My favorite disease. How is the iPhone addiction going? Not good. Still horribly addicted. That's my next thing. I've had a couple other things I need to clean up, my workout habits, my diet. I've worked on it a lot. Phone addiction is coming. Okay, that's going to be the next thing I'm cleaning up. All right. I seem like a Gen Xer in my opinions and outlook. Yeah. I don't know if that's an insult. Somebody said I look like a Gen Xer in my opinions and outlook, and I'm going to do a lot of work to not take that as an insult. I think you probably meant it as an insult. You probably did, right? It's okay. You might be right. Thanks, Bob. Yeah. Cool. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. Really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate your engagement, your support, my content. So thank you again. It means a lot. You guys mean a lot to me. And yeah, hopefully you order a copy of the book and you enjoy it. So thanks.